Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about ChatGPT 5.0 because it's here. And I know I'm saying that a month after it is released, at least a month after it released, since you guys will be seeing this a lot later probably than me recording it, but I am currently recording this exactly a month after it released. And it was a very anticipated release because 4.0 came out early 2023, if I remember right. It was such a big anticipation that everyone is pretty overall excited for it from what I was seeing. There was so many different controversies and stuff like that happened around this release, and not even exactly with the release itself. There was some stuff with the whole AI dating thing getting really mixed up and people being upset about their AI boyfriends. You want me to cover that? I will cover some of that at a later date. But I mainly just want to talk about this past month using ChatGPT 5.0 and my experiences with it and some good and bad with it, and give my overall review. And I also want to hear your guys' overall review as well, so make sure you guys leave that down below. Let me know if you have any similar experiences to me. But let me go ahead and start. I first started using it, what did I use it for first? Oh yeah, I first started using it maybe about the 15th, 18th of August, mainly because I had a bunch of stuff to do and stuff like that, so I could get my hands on it, and I also wanted to make sure that it's flavorless and stuff like that. So I was messing with it, and I forget how weird some of my jobs are, but I was attempting to create a U.S. Constitution Mad Lib for something. I can't really disclose what that was for, but a U.S. Constitution Mad Lib, which you think would be pretty easy, especially with different parts of speech and stuff like that, just for a large language model to do, because really all you're do is you're taking, to really think about what the algorithm is doing, is you're taking the U.S. Constitution and making it into basically a bag of words and selecting certain pieces and then analyzing if it's a noun, adjective, etc., and then taking that part out and putting it down as a blank. I thought it would be a really easy task for it to complete, and it took such a long time for it to understand what I was wanting. Now, first of all, let me just say what I think was really holding this up was the fact that the U.S. Constitution, I think even without any of the amendments, is 7,000 words, which you might not think is a whole lot. It's pretty significant. 7,000 words is what? 28 pages? Single-spaced? Roughly. So pretty decent-sized thing to deal with. The main thing I was getting hard time, and I wasn't expecting it to completely make it all in one go. It would keep on skipping parts of it, which I understand, for example, with Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution. It's immensely long, especially with things that you really wouldn't care to madlib. And so, some of that could be skipped. But it was mainly the fact it would want to do, Section 1, Article 1, Section 1, and it would go straight down to Article 2. It's at least give me the first few sentences so I understand what Article 1, Section 2, Section 3, blah, blah, blah is. At least give me that. Or if you can't generate all 7,000 words, tell me, and then generate, the preamble's not that long, maybe 100, 200 words, but then go with Article 1, generate it, Article 2, generate it, and keep on going with that, and just give me some sort of articulation that you can't do it all. And the main part that would get me upset was that it would say it was the whole thing, and then I would read it, and it's clearly not the whole thing. And this was same because, so if people don't understand this, so OpenAI with ChatGPT is its own like separate thing, but Microsoft and Copilot take ChatGPT and use it for Copilot, so they're basically the same thing as of right now. It's like a, how would I explain it? It's like, oh yeah, this is good. It's like a white label of it. So like you have like Fruity Pebbles, whatever, cereal, and then you go to and get the store brand version. Basically is kind of the equivalent of it. Not to say that one's worse or better. I think it's basically the same thing except it has different branding on it. So you have those two things going. And what's really interesting, they were doing kind of similar things. I was able to get farther with Copilot faster. I'm not sure if it was just the few minutes that it was going in between the two was different. But there was that. And then also, one thing I noticed specifically with Copilot, which this isn't about Copilot, I just wanted to cover this as well, is one thing I tried to do when making it in Copilot is there was one point where I was trying to generate the document for the Matlab, and it would be like, we added this to the document, and there was no document in front of me. Like, similar with like how ChatGPT has like the open space where it will like have it in like a document format instead of like a chat log, I guess would be a better way to explain it. So it'd have like an open document versus like the chat log or text messages, whatever you call it, back and forth. So, but then there was no document type thing open. It was just my message and their message. And so like that was a little bit weird. But anyway, regardless, back to ChatGPT. So that was definitely a hard task for it. I just said it was a big task for it. And I wish it would just done it step by step. Or at least known to have done it step by step. So there was that. It did give me a warning when I was like, no, you need to do it all. It's like, hey, this is 7,000 words. Do you want to still do it? Instead being like, hey, this is 7,000 words. It would be easier to do this section by section. Would you like to complete it that way or something like that? Could have done something easily like that. But anyway, so there was all of that, dealing with that. And then some other things I did with it was coding. I regularly mess with R, our programming language. Pretty cool language. It is mainly used for data analysis, data extraction, etc. So if you have a CSV file, you can slap it into an R program, do a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty decent with R. There's just some things where it's like mainly like the arguments for a function where it's like, what do I put in each thing? Which, to be fair, R does a really good job at telling you what goes where, but sometimes it's like a little bit confusing. And then another thing is like with packages and stuff like that. It's like a lot of times I don't remember which function comes from which package that I need to have downloaded or like have in like the library function or like open up the library to get the book. But anyway, so I was using it for a lot for that, and I think it did pretty well with it. It was just, there was some things it would like, I'd be like, here's a task. Show me step by step how to do it, basically. Because while I like ChatGPT as a tool, I think it should only be used as a tool. It shouldn't be giving you, like, it shouldn't be used as a final result. So it should always have human guidance, in my opinion. But anyway, so step by step, doing it step by step. And then there'd be some times where I, like, within the instructions, I would say, use this function. And then it would get to a point where a code line didn't work. This one was specifically C5.0, I think is what it was, from the C50 package. That doesn't really matter, but anyway. Sometimes you have a hard time opening that package, which is usually you have to like combine it. But anyway, the function was not working for what it needed to do. And so I was like, why is this function, like, why is this line not working? And it was like, oh, you could use this line of code instead, which called a completely different function to solve a very similar task, which, to be fair, would have worked. But when my initial instructions said it had to use that, it should have at least tried to find a way to use that function, in my opinion, and like been like, instead of trying to just completely change the function right away, maybe try to fix the function I gave you. That was just a weird thing. What else have I done with ChatGPT? Here, let me actually open up my ChatGPT. Just because like I said, I use it, I would maybe say like 2 or 3 times a week, just to kind of get some ideas. I also had it write some evaluations, on different like softwares and stuff like that to kind of do things. I usually never have it do math, but I was curious how it would do with math, and it did pretty good. Back to R, I had it calculate sensitivities, alongside of the program that I was doing to see if it would get it right. It got it right, so I call that a win. What else did it? It uses a lot more sources than in the past, which I am a fan of. It also seems like it's gotten significantly better at reading images and the processing and uploading of images. Like, there'll be regularly a lot of times where I have like a piece of code or something like that where I will take a snipping, whatever it is, like I'll use like the snipping tool, and I will snip out part of the code and be like, what does this mean? How does this work? Etc. And it uploads within seconds, which, I mean, fair, just like a little image, but then it's able to analyze it and give me feedback, even within like the regular, within maybe 10 seconds, which is really nice. And I regularly use the ChatGPT 5 thinking. So let me explain a little bit something, I guess, a little bit different. So instead of having the different ChatGPTs for different tasks is what kind of 4 did a lot. So there was like the basic 4.0, and then there was like this one specifically for coding, this one specifically for writing and stuff like that. This one, there are four I did 3 in my hand originally. There are 4 different I guess like not really categories, but advanced models, I would say, or like speeds, there we go, that's better, of what you are needing. So it has instant, where it answers right away. So that would be basically if you're trying to find an easy answer, kind of like a Google is what I would say that more is seeming to me. Thinking, where it will put, like, it will, like, you can actually kind of like see it, like, literally, like, it'll pop up, like, kind of like a loading screen will do, where it's like you'll see like it's gathering answers here, blah blah blah, like where it's like those like funny things. It actually shows up here, which is actually kind of cool, of like what it's actually kind of doing. So while it's thinking, you can know what it's doing instead of it just sitting there spiraling, which is kind of cool. And it will show you like how long it is. Like the certain one I have pulled up says stop for 22 seconds. But I think the longest I've had is like 2 minutes of thinking, but that was for the Mad Libs, so that's kind of long. And then it also has like their Pro, which you can't even get with like the Pro, like with like the Plus account. You have to have the Pro one, which is $200 a month. I'm good, buddy. Okay, there you go. And then you could also set up the legacy model, but the fourth one I was going to talk about is the auto, where it decides how long to think. So if it's like, oh, if it needs only 2 seconds to do it, it does in 2 seconds. But if it is a more complex topic, it actually takes the time to do it, which I haven't really experienced a whole lot with so far. I would like to do a little bit in the future, but then on top of ChatGPT 5, they still have the GPTs, obviously. They have Sora, which is their video, I think also images. I know for sure they do video, but image as well, generate anything. I just don't really mess with that a whole lot. I messed with it a little bit when it first came out because I was just nosy about it, but otherwise I haven't looked at it since. And then Codex, which I think is somewhat new. It is more of their program and stuff like that, where you can actually connect it to a GitHub and mess with it and stuff like that, and have it review your code, and mess with things like that, which I think I don't know how long Codex has been out. Gonna look that up. I know it's kind of new. 2021. The most recent one, also called Codex, was released in May. I would say I know it's somewhat new. Looks kind of cool. Not really. I haven't really messed with that a whole lot either. A lot of the coding I just use in GPT because I don't want it to generate for me. I want it to more of like give me step-by-step instructions of how to do things, and then I learn that way. But I mean, overall, I think it definitely still needs some work. But I think when it comes to like, how do I say this? When it comes to the new processing power and stuff like that it has, I think will be greater. But I think it has even just a month in, I think it's probably close to equivalent of where 4 was. And I'm curious how it's going to evolve from there. Because I wasn't in love with 4 like that, but I was able to accomplish everything I needed to with 4. So I'm curious what new things I'll be able to accomplish with 5 and where it comes from with it. And stuff like that. And I do like a lot more of like it's a lot more like, I guess, straight to the point, but also it gives you like small like little prompts instead of being like, oh, here's a long big prompt that you can ask us, or like it gets a lot more straight to the point, which I like in the sense of what I'm using it for as like more of an instruction manual, but I could see where issues could come awry. But that's really all I got for you guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Have you guys used it yet? What are your thoughts with it? Did you hear about the stories with people dating 4.0 and getting upset with it about them changing to 5 and getting rid of their significant others? Let me know. Comment down below. And also, if there's any other stories you guys want me to cover, I would love to cover them. Since I am cruising through the galaxy at the speed of light, it will be a little bit more in between uploads than normal, but I'm gonna at least try to get 1 a month done, so we'll see how this goes. But until then, I'll see you on the other side. Bye guys.